back. So this is A level computer science 9618 paper 2, and this is part 2, and we will start from where we have left. Okay, so let's discuss about input, process and output. Input, whenever you try to take an input, you try to declare something, right? First of all, let's suppose I'm declaring num1 as this is integer, and hello num1. Okay, in pseudocode you will write it down like this. Let me show you. So this would be declare num1 as integer, and you will write down input num1, and then output hello num1. This is how you write out it in pseudocode. Okay, so if I just run it, and you will get it. Okay, I need to enter something. 55. Hello 55. Okay. Okay. Let's suppose if I want to give a message, and then I'm going to press enter. So I'm going to write console dot read, or wait, write line, output, write line, console dot write line, enter your number. Okay, let's do it again. Enter your number 67, hello 67. Okay, so I have written down the code, but how will I write down in pseudocode form? Let me show you how. First of all, get this. Okay, so this is declared num1 as integer, right? This is declare num1 as integer, and then enter your you can write it down like input enter your number, comma, and then num1. Wait, yeah, num1. This is how you will write down as an input. Then you will just give an input, and just you will do output hello num1. Okay, this is how you will write it down in pseudocode form. Okay, then we have sequence. So whenever for example, if I want to do in sequence form, okay, let's just copy paste this. So first of all, I'm going to declare num2. This is going to be num2 as integer, and then I could just initialize it. Num2 is equals to 23. Oh wait, is equals to 23. Okay, so I've initialized it, and then I can just add this num2. Okay, this is called initialization. You are initializing a variable after declaring it. Assignment mean, for example, if I want to increment this, num2 is equals to num2 plus 1 or plus 2. Okay, let's see what will happen if I try to, let me just copy and then paste. num2. Okay, this is incrementing by 2, or you can just do it by 1. It depends on you. If I just try to decrement by -1, let's say -1, and then again I'm going to give an output. Let's see, run it. Okay, 24. Okay, so it was 23. It decremented by 2 and 25. And then it will be decrement by minus by 1, and it will be 24. Now I'm entering the number 256, 256, 24. This is how you do it. This is as increment, decrement. And as for sorting values, okay, let me show you how I can sort values. Let's make another variable which is temp, which is mean by temporary variable for storing the value. So temp, okay. Now I got num2 as 23. I got, let me, no, let me just, okay, enter your number. No, good, right line. Okay, let's suppose I'm giving the value, or maybe if I could make it a little bit more interesting. Okay, let me just, I'm going to say enter your number 1, enter your number 1. Okay, and then I'm going to enter number 1. Okay, then it says enter num2. Now I'm going to enter num2, copy paste. This is num2, and then this is num2. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort the values. Okay, which means what I'm saying here is I'm going to, for example, I got num1 as 23, and then I got num2 as 54. I'm going to sort them, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to store the value of num2 in temp 54. Sorry, not this, it's going to be num2. So the value of num2 is stored in temp. Then I'm going to num wait, yeah, num2 is equals to num1. The value of num1 is stored in num2, and then num1 is equal to num2. Oh, not num2, it's going to be temp. So what I have done, I have sorted the values of num I have sorted the values of num1 and num2. Okay, so the value of num2 is num1, and the value of num1 is in num2. All right. Okay, so let's see what happens. Oh wait, I haven't done sorting. So I'm going to take temp is equals to num1. Okay, then num2, wait, okay, now that the num1 value is stored in temp, and then I'm going to, yeah, num1 is equal to num2, and then num2 is equal to 10. Okay, so what I'm going to do, console or write line, so before sorting I got the values num1 and num2. Okay, so I got these values, but then after sorting it, I will get the values after sorting. Let's run it. Int num1, let's say 34, 78, and there you go. Okay, let me just, okay, so this is num1. Let me give a space, then I'm going to add another one, going to give a space, and then, and so that it could show something, right? Num1, I'm going to just copy paste this. Okay, wait. There you go. So let's try again. This time it should work properly. Okay, so 34, 78, and there you go. You got 34, 78, but then it's sorted 78, 34. So this is sorting, my friend. Okay, you know what? Let me just take a screenshot of this. Screenshot it as save as T1, or let's say C1 com1. Okay. Okay. So this is input, process, and output. So they have done output, right? As for this, we will go to this later. It's not that difficult though. And as for an output, okay, this we can, okay, so this is the syntax of Visual Basic, and so this and here, this is a syntax of VB that you can just you know, add all of these variable or messages in this way, and but you can also add messages, you can concatenate messages through this as well. So same thing here, you can use this in pseudocode. You can use this in pseudocode when concatenates strings. When joining two strings, you can then use this for concatenate joining two strings, okay, in pseudocode form. But if you want to do as, you know, variable and the message, you can just put a comma like that. Okay, that's it. So let's move on. Alright, so if then else, condition, selection, it's all done. Iteration, we call three types of loop. The for loop, which is a count control loop, you give the number that how many times you want to repeat that same instructions, right? For example, if you want to print 5 number of stars, so you will write for I is equals to 1 to 5, and then output star, and 4. Same thing here. In while loop, you will give a condition, right? While that condition is true, the statement will run. If it become false, then it will come out of the loop, it will break. Okay, that's what it means. So while a condition is true, it will keep on running. A repetition, where the number of repeat is not known, that is completed at least once. Okay, this is known as precondition loop, which means we are giving the condition at the start of the loop. That is meant by precondition. As for post condition, giving the condition at the end of the loop. Repeat this statement until condition is true. Okay, for example, okay, So while this condition is true, run it, run, keep on running until this, while this condition is true. While we know this in English form, while the dog is barking, keep inside of keep inside in your home, right? While there is coronavirus outside, keep inside of you, stay in your home and practice isolation and practice social distancing while corona is there. If it is false, that came out of the loop. Why repeat this? Okay, as for this, repeat something until it becomes true, until it becomes true. While it is true, keep on running, repeat this until it becomes true. For now it is false, right? While it is true, keep on running until it becomes false. So these two are completely different. Okay, while there is a protest, go stay inside your home. Okay, repeat repeat something until you the condition is true, which means repeatedly crying for your mommy and daddy until they come to you for picking you up from school. So repeatedly crying and shouting and lying down on the floor, crying on the floor until you see mommy and daddy. So until you see mommy and daddy is a condition. So for now it's false. You keep on crying until the condition is true. Okay. So that's the difference between while and repeat. You are giving the condition at the start of the loop. You are giving the condition at the end of the loop. This is the end of the loop, this is the start of the loop. Okay, a repetition where the number of repeats is not known, that is completed at least once. A repetition where the number of repeats is not known, that may never be completed. Okay, I don't know what is happening, I don't know what is mean by that, but you just need to understand this, that precondition, you give in the condition at the start of the loop. While condition is true, it will keep on running. You are giving the condition at the end of the loop. While the condition until it and right now the condition is false, repeat this until. So let's implement it. Let's see. Let's suppose okay, for I is equals to 1 2 10, and for next 4 2 and 4. Okay, for example, if I want to change something for, oh wait, let me just make it simple for you guys so that you could understand it. So console dot write line, right? Console dot write line star, let me just star. So for I is equals to 1 to 10, you are going to increment, you're going to repeat this thing 10 times. Repeat the statement inside the for next loop, for to loop. Okay, so let's see. Here you go. You got 10 times, right? Now for example, if I want to change this, enter the number of time you want to repeat. Enter the number of times you want to repeat. If I could change this in this form, what will happen? So I'm going to num1 console.write line, take this, copy this, and then okay, and then I'm just going to put in here num1. There you go. And now let's see. Okay, if I want to repeat 4 times, 4, this is loop. Okay, so what happens if I put another loop inside a loop? This is known as nested loop. You can put a loop within a loop. You can just put a while loop inside another while loop, repeat loop inside another repeat loop, while loop inside repeat loop inside while loop inside a loop inside a loop, nested loop. This is what we call it, nested loop. So let's see. For example, if I want to, okay, let's just that at that for j is equals to I want to, for j is equals to 1 to I, if I could just do like this, connect it to one another, and then I'm going to put this in here. Let's see what happens. Run it, and four. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay, so here's what I've done. Console.write means, write on one line but do not give a gap. Do not go into the next line. Console.write line, what it does here is it tries to give a print and then it goes to the next line automatically. So that's what I wanted to do. I was just trying to make sure it becomes a triangle. So what happens here? Console.write, which means printing it. Okay, I printed, but you did not go into the next line yet. For I is equals to 1 to 10, right now the value of what I is 1, so this is 1, it goes one time, boom, then it ends the loop, and then I is incremented to 2, it go into the second line. Okay, here it comes to the second line, which is 2, then it comes again 1 to 2, so 1 2, and it ends the loop, then boom, again it keeps on coming down because I've put here, it helps to go into the next line, go to the next line. Okay, so how will I write it down in pseudocode form? Let me show you. Okay, okay. For I is equals to 1 to 10, same thing in pseudocode. For I is equals to j, for j is equals to 1 to I, output star, and for output nothing, or output going to the next line, and then end 4. Okay, so this and this is the part, this for this end 4, and this for this end 4. Okay, this is how you write down in pseudocode form. Okay, let's move on. So this is loop. I've put a nested loop. This is known as a nested loop. Okay, right, let's move on to while loop. Okay, let me change the code again. So this is how you write it down in this is how you write it down in while loop. Okay, while flag is equals to flag, while flag is equals to array. We just declare it dim flag is equals to as boolean. Okay, while flag is equals to true, and while this and while. Okay, it's the same syntax right here. This is the pseudocode syntax. it has the same exact syntax, so don't worry about it. Okay, while flag is equal to true, our console dot write line, console dot write, console dot write, another one, Yahoo. It's working, right? But I'm going to increment this. Okay, let's say num1 is equals to 5. Okay, so I've given the value to num1, and I'm going to decrement this by 1, by minus 1. Okay, then I'm going to put conditional statement num1 if num1 equals to 0, if num1 equal to 0, then what will happen, flag is equal to false. Okay, if flag is equal to false, then it will get out from the loop. Okay, so oh wait, let's run it. Okay, so it did work. Why did it work? Why it didn't work? Okay, I haven't initialized it yet. So flag is equal to true. True, true. Flag is equal to true. Now let's see. This will work. There you go. So you have got this. It runs. It has run 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because why did it happen? Or let's make it more simple. Line. Let's put line here. Let's run it. There you go. So what's happening? Let's see. Okay, so it did run 5 times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. First of all, I have declared flag num1. Okay, so flag is equal to true, num is equal to 5. While flag is equal to true, while this condition is true, this will keep on running, while and while. Okay, while the condition is true, it will keep on running. So console or write line this, console or write line Yahoo, and then we are trying to decrement this by -1, right? Decrement, and then we have put a conditional statement. If num1 is equal to 0, then flag is equals to false after it becomes 0. So right now it's happening, num1 -1. Okay, it becomes 4. Then again, while condition is true, flag is true. Yes, flag is true. Keep on execute the statement. The num1 becomes 3. Here's what happening. First of all, it was 5, then it becomes 4, then it becomes 3, then it becomes 2, then it becomes 1, and after it becomes 0, now it says if num1 is equal to 0, then flag is equals to false. It becomes false. It goes to the condition flag is false, get out from the loop. This is while loop. Okay, this is how you put a condition, the breaking point. This is the breaking point for getting out of from the loop. If for example if I do not put the break point, then the loop will keep on continuing infinitely. It will crash. It will keep on going infinitely. Okay, let me show you how. For example, if I just don't if I do not put this, supposing, what will happen? the the loop will go infinitely and it will eventually crash like this. It's going infinitely because I haven't put a condition where I could just get out from the loop. It will keep on going until it becomes it crashes. Okay, the system crash. So this is really important. This is the breaking point. This is a point where you need to get out from the loop at all cost. This is the break-in point. Way to get out from the loop. Okay, let's take a screenshot for this. Okay, so it's safe, I think. Let me just take another one. And there you go. Send save as comp2. Okay, so this is while loop. Now let's see repeat loop. We just do loop until flag is equal to false. Okay, right now it is true. Do loop until, so it's the same thing. For example, if I just, it will work the same way, definitely work the same thing. I have put down here. So do means repeat until flag is equal to false. For now it is true, so keep on running. So we're going to execute these two statements and we're going to put this as well. Obviously if we do not, I repeat, if we do not put these two, then the system will again crash. It's similar to while loop. The only difference is the condition goes from the start in while loop, and the condition goes from the, it comes in the bottom in the repeat loop. So I'm going to put the condition, the breaking point, where the loop will, where this statement will help out to get out from the loop. Okay. So we are going to execute these two statements and it will keep on repeating and repeating. The number is 5. Okay, so it will keep on repeating. If number is equal to 0, flag is equal to false. Flag is equal to false. Loop until flag is equal to false. It will get out from the loop. Let's see what happens if I run it. There you go. It's the same thing, right? Star Yahoo, 1, 2, 3, 4, and voila, 5 times. So it's the same thing. Okay, so yeah, but it could be used in different scenario given on the different circumstances. It depends what are you know it depends on the circumstances. Then depending on that circumstance you choose that which kind of a loop that you should be using. Okay, so I have just told you how this thing works. Let me just take another screenshot for this. I'm going to add this into my notes. It's a good thing. save as comp 3. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so we have gone through these loops. Iteration is done, selection is done, this whole thing is done. Now we are coming to bubble sort and linear search. Bubble sorting means that you have an array. Okay, you know what? Let's start with an array. 1D array and 2D array. Let's start from here. 1D array and 2D array. Okay. So how do you make an array? Okay, what is an array? Array is, supposing this is uh, uh, for example, if I'm declaring something, declare uh, num num array. I'm using the syntax of pseudocode right here. Array from 0 to 5, or you can just say 1 to 5. I think it's better if you just do 1 to 5 for your own, you know, just to make things clear for you. So it's from 1 to 5 as off, you will use off. Okay, what kind of a data type that you want of this array, which is a name num. So I have choose num, which means obviously it is integer. If I could, if I could just, I could choose a real number or integer. Okay. So let's start. So I have created an array of the name num. So this is the name of a array num, and this is my array. These are the index 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. They are different spaces. So this is the index number 1. This is the index number 2, index number 3, number 4, number 5. These are the index. And if you want to, for example, let's say the value is 32, right? The value is 32, 54, 29, 18, 7. If I want to access any one of these, so how will I going to access this? I'm going to write down like this, num 1. So I'm going to access this one. If I could just write num 4, I will access this one. This is how I try to access any number inside of. So array is basically that you have a variable and inside a variable you can store so different multiple of values. You can store multiple of values. Okay, this is the meaning of an array. You have an index from 1 to 5, you have different values and it's stored inside a variable num. Okay, so that's an array. You can have an array of integer, you can have an array of real, char, string, boolean, date, whatever. Okay. So this is 1D array, but we will see 2D array in the next video, I guess. For now, let's focus on 1D. Make an array. So dim1 num is, let's say we are making 5. Let's remove all of this. Okay, so I have created an array of 5. An array which is the name of an array is num1 and having 5 space for that, 5 indexes. So I have created an array of, so this is the name of an array, this is the name of an array, and these are the index which I have created. So it would look something like this, num1, and then we have you will have something like this, 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. So 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so that's how you will write it down. You will see this. Okay, so now let's suppose, let's see, let's initialize it. I'm just going to for I is equals to 1 2. Okay, you know what, let me just check it. First thing, let me show you something. Console dot write line, console dot write line, and num1, I'm accessing the index of 0. Okay, let's see what happens. And you know what, let me just put all of these in. Done. Let's see what will happen, what will I get. So I will get 0. Okay, so it's from 0 to 5, which means if I put 5 here, also get 0. For example, okay, so what we have learned here, that after creating this index, we have an index from 0 to 5. We have an index from 0 to 5. In pseudocode you can write down like this, 0 5. Okay, which means we have an index from 0 to 5, which means it will have 6 total indexes: 0 1 2 3 4 5. It will have 6 total. Okay, so what happens if I take 6? Then it might give an error. It might give an exception, index out of bound. Let's see. There you go, it has given an exception. That obvious that it's saying the compiler is telling me that, hey bro, you do not the index number 6 does not exist. You have told us that you have an index from 0 to 5. Okay, cool, but you do not have 6. Okay, so please reconsider it and do something about it. That this is what the compiler is telling me. So if I put 5 again, then what will happen? 0. Okay, why am I having 0? Right now, I haven't initialized anything, but compiler automatically try to, whenever we try to make a variable, the compiler, what does the compiler do? It tries to initialize each and every index to 0, to null. Okay, it do it for us. So we don't need to initialize it, but if we try to initialize it, doesn't really matter. It won't hurt anything. For example, if I want to initialize it, I'm going to use a count loop for I is equals to 0 to 5. Okay, for I is equals to 0 to 5, num1 okay, num1 I is equal to 3. Let's suppose I am going to increment this like this, and after this I'm going to see I'm going to initialize like this. Let's see what have I stored in each variable. So I'm going to console.write line, copy, and I'm going to put I, because obviously the reason why I put I is I, for example, the value of I is 0, so num 0 you get 3, then it becomes increment to 1 you get 3, 2 3 4 5. This is how it's going. So after initialize all of those indexes inside a variable, then I'm trying to I want to find out what have I stored inside an array. So console.write line accessing the index position I num1. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so what happens, I have initialized this to 3, and then I'm just trying to find out what if I put the values in each index. Let's make it more user friendly, more easy to understand that what is happening here. For example, I'm going to console dot write line, console dot write line, um, the index the index I the index I is initialized. Okay, so index and the number this is initialization complete. Let me write down like that. mm, array is completely initialized. Well done. Okay, so the array is completely initialized. Well done. After initializing it, I'm going to find out that the the index is have been storing this value. Okay, let me just no, let's take it full. The index I have been storing have been storing this value. Then I'm going to this write it down, num1 I. Okay, so the index number this have been storing this value num I. Then yeah, now let's let's run it. The index 0 is initialize, error is completely initialized. Well done. The index 0 have been storing this value 3 3 3 3 3. Now let's do some changes. For example, multiply by I. Now let's see what happens. You got the values. So 3 multiplied by 0 becomes stored 0, then 3 6 9 12 15. So this is 1D array. You have been storing this. So it it looks something like this. Let me show you. Okay, so you have num1, you have an array, you got the index 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 0 to 5, and you have been storing these values 0 3 6 9 12 15. Okay, so this is 1D array. We will move on to 2D later in this video, later on. For now I think it's enough for now. So we have discussed about the input and output and about the concatenation, and we have also discussed about these loops, that how these loops work, and we will go to this in the next video, don't worry. And we have discussed about 1D array. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you guys